Thank you all. My name is Dan Glickman, and along with my partner Catherine Bertini, we co-chair the Chicago Council on Global Agriculture Development Initiative. We're delighted to be here and we're delighted that the Chicago Council is able to host this event. Just a moment about the Chicago Council. We are a nonprofit, nonpartisan foreign policy organization committed to influencing the discourse on global issues through contributions to opinion and policy information, leadership dialogue, and public learning. Our Global Agriculture Development Initiative has been going on for about 3.5 years. We started this project in 2008, and I'm glad to say that we have been a major part of this effort to highlight global agriculture development around the world. The events of today are taking place at an important crossroads for food security, national security, and global food issues. Tomorrow, G8 leaders and presidents from Tanzania, Ethiopia, Ghana, and Benin will meet to discuss a new approach for agriculture development and food security. As many of you know in this room, probably everybody in this room, this has been a transformational time period for the issues of global agriculture development and the recognition that it plays in the role in alleviating global hunger and global poverty. In the past decade, many African leaders and many African countries have taken transformational steps to improve their country's agriculture systems. 3 years ago, G8 leaders met in L'Aquila, Italy, and pledged to spend more than $20 billion over 3 years on rural and agricultural development. We're privileged today to have several of those heads of states as distinguished guests. The private sector has begun to step forward as a powerful and willing partner with the great leadership of Secretary of State, the head of AID, and the President of the United States. And again, we're proud to see so many business leaders and members of the private sector here. But these positive developments must be tempered by the grave reality that still 1 billion people worldwide suffer from chronic hunger, and some of those suffer in a famine situation. And that hunger stunts the mental and physical development of the next generation and depletes the global workforce, and certainly depletes a productive global workforce. If we don't act soon, the situation will worsen, and not only because of climate change and resource scarcity, but also because of political instabilities, which are often caused by these events. This does not have to be reality. Prioritizing agriculture development is essential to reducing hunger and poverty and spurring economic growth. And under the leadership of many in this room today, this is and will be the case. This is the backdrop for today's event, which occurs on the eve of the G8 summit, which will be held tomorrow at Camp David. The decisions made in the next 24 hours by G8 leaders, business leaders, heads of state, and helped by NGOs and others around the world will be critical in determining the food and nutrition security of current and future populations. So we are delighted and proud to be here on this day, a transformational day where transformational change will be made. And now I give the floor to my partner in this effort, Catherine Bertini, to provide additional remarks. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Dan. Today you will hear from representatives of government, of business, of academia, and of the NGO community. They will share their recommendations and their plans for building a food and nutrition secure future. Please know that we have an extremely tight schedule all day. All the speakers and the panels that will take place in this room will be coming on very quickly. We will shift across the hall for lunch at 12:15. We will switch and have lunch, but we will otherwise not have any breaks. So we would ask, if you must leave, do so quietly and do so between sessions. Please, again, silence your cell phones and Blackberries. We're also very excited to be incorporating several live interactive technologies into today's events. It will be live streamed over the internet during the day. A video recording is available online. The Council will live tweet announcements, keynote speeches, and panel discussions throughout the symposium using the Twitter handle @GlobalAgDev and #GlobalAg. You'll also see here on the side of me our Twitter wall, The screen will display tweets throughout the day using the symposium hashtag #GlobalAg. So we invite people to tweet into the conference and from the conference. Lastly, we are live blogging on the Chicago Council's Global Food for Thought blog. We want to acknowledge many people here today. First, everyone that's here today, and thank you for your support, your assistance, your creativity, and your commitment to global agricultural development. And you will meet many people during the course of the day who will be playing formal roles. In addition to the G8 representatives on panels today, we're also grateful that there are representatives here from Germany, Russia, Italy, Japan, and France. And in addition to the African head of states, whom we are so honored to have here on panels, we're pleased also that there are representatives here from Mozambique, Burkina Faso, Rwanda, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Angola, Cape Verde, Mexico, Nicaragua, and Malawi. We also want to welcome U.S. Senator Coons from Delaware, who joins us. We want to thank the World Economic Forum for collaborating with the Chicago Council on this event, and several other organizations who partnered with us for this symposium. Their logos are on the screens that they will be displayed periodically. We're very grateful for their support. We will recognize them again formally at the end of the day. The Council would also like to thank the businesses and the foundations that have provided financial support that allows this event to happen. They will also be on the screens periodically. They include DuPont, Abbott, Elanco, Land O'Lakes, Monsanto, Walmart, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and the MacArthur Foundation. Thank you all so very much. Finally, I'd like to welcome Michael Froman, Assistant to the President and Deputy National Security Advisor for International Economic Affairs, to begin our symposium today. Mr. Froman.
And thank you to the Chicago Council, the World Economic Forum, and the other sponsors for hosting this event and for doing all the work that you do throughout the year on the issues that we're discussing today. You've got a busy program ahead of you, so I don't want to take up much time, but I did want to take one moment to put today's event in the context of the G8 summit this weekend and the G20 summit next month. When the leaders head to Camp David later today, they'll be talking about a whole range of economic and security issues. Obviously, the global economy will be high on their list, and the situation in Europe and what we can do to promote growth and jobs here and around the world. They'll talk about Iran, Syria, and Burma. They'll talk about energy security and climate change, and the Middle East and North Africa and Afghanistan. But very much central to their discussion will be a focus on food security and nutrition. And the leaders will meet with a remarkable group of African leaders, both from governments and from the private sector, to dig deeply into the issues that need to be addressed in order to make a step change in progress on food security and nutrition in Africa and elsewhere around the world. As many of you will remember, in the first few months after taking office, President Obama went to the G20 summit in London in the midst of food price spikes and called on the G20 to begin to focus on food security. And at L'Aquila, as Dan mentioned, they initiated a major initiative to mobilize resources, but also to change the way that we do business in food security. It generated significant donor pledges, it raised the profile of food security, and it mobilized other organizations, including the G20, with an ever larger circle of countries providing not just financial assistance, but expertise and technology to help address the issue. Here at home, we launched the Feed the Future initiative and are supporting 19 country-owned plans, supporting a 3-year commitment to the Global Agricultural and Food Security Program, and increased our funding for agricultural research and development. And we've seen real progress. In the 19 countries whose plans we've been supporting, agricultural productivity is up 8 times higher than the global average. This weekend at Camp David, the President will lead the G8 in building on and expanding on the commitments in L'Aquila through a series of concrete steps to accelerate progress and to increase access to capital, scale up technology and innovation, and create new tools to mitigate and manage risk. Over the last several months, USAID, the State Department, and our government as a whole has worked closely with the African Union, the Comprehensive African Agricultural Development Program, or CAADP, and the Grow Africa Partnership to align our efforts with the growing commitment on the continent to support development and food security as a top priority. And our work on this issue and in the G8 and the G20 very much builds on the President's Policy Directive on Global Development, which he issued in September 2010. The President's agenda starts with a focus on sustained and inclusive economic growth and strong institutions, investing in the emerging markets of the future. There's a focus on being more selective. We're driving policies with evidence of impact. We're leveraging our leadership and coordinating with others, and we're focused squarely on results. The President's policy is focused on development, not just assistance. But let there be no mistake, we are fully committed to the assistance agenda, and the President's budgets speak for themselves in that regard. I'm regularly reminded by my friends from the One campaign that great promises are one thing, but keeping them and proving to have them kept is equally important. And trust me, I carry around their data accountability report whenever I meet with the G8 Sherpas and remind them of the importance of this as well. But that said, our colleagues from Africa who will be here today are the first ones to make clear government assistance alone is not sufficient. To succeed, it takes the commitment that they're demonstrating on the ground on governance and on the deployment of resources. It takes the commitment of international organizations and the private sector, foundations, NGOs, and even individuals. There's a great opportunity for us here, but it's a great charge to all of us as well. So as we head to Camp David, let me just leave you with the simple observation that it will take all of us represented here in this room today to achieve our goals. As you look to us and to the G8, we also look to you. Thank you for inviting me here, and good luck with the rest of the day.